Hello dear friends, today's topic is inside about a book named Git. Authors as Bernd, Öggl, Michael Kofler. The publisher is Rheinwerk Computing 2022. Actually, it is not too old because the Git doesn't change. It's since many years. I'm since 2005 a Java software developer, and in many different subjects. And I work with SVN, Git, and so on. And Git since many years is the same. Actually, it doesn't change. That's why it is not. Don't be judged by the 2022. It is. It makes no difference. Okay, the rest you can pause the video and read. I would go to the next slide, but first thing first. At the end also I would show you in the last slide about my application, because you can watch the video from my YouTube channels, German or English, or my application. My application had more advantages. I would explain at the end because many people maybe know it. But because my platform is very new, since February 2026, and some months, it's 4 months right now, and that's why maybe less than 4 months, maybe are not known to many people. That's why I should bother you with one slide at the end, at least for some months, because many people are for the first time that confront my application. Okay, let us begin the journey. In future also, for abbreviation and so on, I don't explain all of them, because you can pause the video and read them on the screen for your info. Git is a version control system that records change in project files over time. It helps developers see who changed what, when, and why. For teams, Git makes parallel work possible through branches, commits, merges, and remote repositories. The book explains that Git has become the de facto standard for software version control. For buyers or who are interested in this book, this matters because Git is a core professional skill for developers and DevOps teams. And believe me, without Git nowadays you cannot work. Every workplace that you apply for a job, they ask you should be know version control Git. SVN is old one, you can forget it. I don't think that anyone would use it, but Git is de facto. Beginners is second educational slide. The book is after that. The beginners often confuse Git with capital G with GitHub or GitLab. Git with capital G is the underlying version control system, while Git is the command used to operate it. GitHub and GitLab are hosting platforms that make collaboration, backups, pull requests, issues, and automation easier. The book explains that these platforms supplement Git. They don't replace basic Git concepts. For you as interested in this book, this slide prepares them to understand why the book covers both command line, Git, and hosting platforms. Actually, for my application also I used very tremendous with Git. With GitHub. Actually, it is very lovely, very friendly, and it's not hard. If you work with that, you would get used to that and don't get panic. And also you can create it is free. You can create a hobby project with even I don't push anything. I push, but with what's the name, with VS Code. VS Code, I have a link to my GitHub. I click and push, and from there it would be automated to the Vercel for my subject which I created, and it is very lovely, and you would get to use it, and it is not hard. Okay, from here it starts with the content of the book. This book positions Git as a core skill for developers and DevOps teams. It is not only about saving code changes, but about coordinating work, tracing history, managing branches, reviewing contributions, and supporting CI/CD workflows. The authors don't reduce Git to a few daily commands. They present it as a system that becomes safer and more powerful when its concepts are properly understood. This book is best suited for readers who need Git in real projects. And beginners can use the early chapters to build a foundation, but the book becomes especially valuable for intermediate users and teams. It explains not only what to type, but why commands behave as they do. This makes it useful for people who want to solve Git problems rather than simply search for emergency commands online. The structure is broad and practical. The book begins with Git basics, installation, GitHub setup, commits, pushes, pulls, branches, and authentication. It then moves into Git internals, merging, rebasing, tags, repository analyzes, GitHub, GitLab, Azure, DevOps, and other platforms. Later chapters cover workflows, hooks, submodules, real-life use cases, command problems, and a command reference. This makes the book useful both as a learning path and as a reference. Here I have the first visual evidence. It is figure 1.1, download dialog box on GitHub. The page shows GitHub's clone or download dialog and then connect it to the Git clone workflow. Why it should be interested to you? Because it demonstrates how the book links web interfaces with command line practice. For you as interested in this book or buyer or potential buyer, it shows that the book teaches Git through concrete workflows rather than abstract definitions alone. The learning approach combines examples with conceptual depth. The book starts with practical tasks, but it repeatedly returns to the internal model of Git: commits, references, branches, removes, and the repository database. This is important because Git problems are easier to solve when users understand what changed inside the repository. The book encourages readers to experiment in test repositories before applying risk commands in team projects. Another visual evidence. I will explain it. The book's biggest strength is its balance between depth and real-world application. It explains Git fundamentals carefully, but also shows how Git is used through GitHub, GitLab, Azure DevOps, pull requests, pipelines, and team workflows. It is especially useful because it doesn't hide Git's complexity. Instead, it gives readers the mental model needed to work with that complexity more confidently. I have two visual evidence. It is figure 4.5 and 4.6 from chapter 4, data analysis in the Git repository, section 4.4.3, visualizing branches. These pages show branch visualization via Git-K and GitLab. This belongs. Why it should be interested to you? Because it illustrates one of the book's strongest teaching methods, making Git history visible. For you as interested in this book, it shows that the book supports abstract concepts with diagrams and tool screenshots. The book's depth can be too much for readers who only want a very short Git introduction. It is a serious handbook and not a pocket cheat sheet. Some platform-specific screenshots and menu paths may also age as GitHub, GitLab, Azure DevOps, and similar services evolve. Readers who prefer only graphical tools will still need patience because the deepest explanations rely strongly on the command line. The workflow chapter is one of the most valuable part of the book. It shows that Git does not prescribe one way of working. Teams might choose a workflow that fits their project and experience. Feature balances, pull requests, Git flow, and trunk-based development all have advantages and trade-offs. The book helps teams understand these trade-offs instead of copying a workflow blindly. The visual evidence which I have, chapter 8, workflow, section 8.6, trunk-based development, figure 8.13. The figure shows trunk-based development, where developers commit quickly to the main branch supported by continuous integration. Why it should be interested to? Because it visualizes how Git process choices shape teamwork. For you as interested in this book, it shows that the book explains not only Git commands but also development strategy. One unusual strength is the book's honesty. The authors don't pretend Git is easy. They explain why it can be confusing and why deeper understanding matters. The troubleshooting chapter is also very practical because Git error messages often appear at stressful moments. The book also goes beyond standard code repositories, covering dot files, Linux configuration, SVN migration, huge blocks, Hugo blogs, and self-hosted Git options. By the way, I have the book. I remember I have the book in German version also. A little bit older version, but I have many books from Rheinwerk Verlag in German language actually, but they have very good books with very simple explanation. In Germany, in English also, anyway, and also they use simple language, understandable with enough amount of graphics, maybe not very colorful, but for software engineering it doesn't need to be a panorama photorealistic images, because it makes also the books much more expensive, in my opinion. Why should I pay for what I don't need it? When it is about a photographic or graphic design, something like this, it makes sense to have very beautiful panorama colored images. But for software engineering, why should I pay for extra what I don't need it? Anyway, my final judgment is clearly positive. Git is a strong professional handbook for developers and DevOps teams who want to understand Git properly. It is more detailed than a quick start guide, but that detail is exactly what makes it useful in real work. The book is strongest where it connects Git's internal logic with team workflow and modern platform. For readers who use Git regularly, it is a worthwhile investment. I hope that Rheinwerk tries to more produce English books, because they produce very good books in Germany, and I hope they increase this direction also, to produce the same or translate in English. I'm sure they would boom, because they have very good books, in my opinion. With my experience, I have more than 10 books, I think, maybe more books in computer science from them, from Spring to Java to this and that and so on. Okay. One more slide for people who don't know my application. For the people who know my application, you can leave, but before that, if you have any suggestion, improvement, I'm introduced to one or two educational slides at the first before I start with the book. Please give your comments. If you like it, don't like it, have a recommendation. I'm not God, I'm human, I make mistakes. And if my tremendous amount of time and effort is valued to you, please like, comment, subscribe my YouTube channel. It is really a heartbreak that I have very few, especially in German and also in English, very few subscribers. I don't know why. Somebody maybe tell me what is wrong with me, what is wrong with my effort, if nobody is interested in books or my effort is shit. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it and you like it. I thank you in advance for your subscription. And it helps that YouTube algorithms to reach to further people. For the people who are watching my video for the first time or don't know my application, go to this under every video, more, click on that, the lengthy path, go direct to the corresponding book in my application. Here is metadata about the book, which I try to gather for you. And here is click on help, or here, and then the first one, getting started, ReelReads.app, is click on that. It starts, and it is roughly 15 minutes, nothing more. And it helps you to orient yourself for most basic subject in my application. Thank you for watching and your time. Until the next book inside. Bye bye.